call the Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Well, the very first statement that Mr Shearer said, I know he's got an interest in research, science and technology, was that he accused the government of being ad hoc. I think it's evident, actually, isn't it, by that statement alone, that he's not been here for the previous 9 years of the Labor government. And why do I say that? Because they were totally and completely beset by ad hocery. And I think the biggest single judgment that was made by the sector about the Labor government was a failed knowledge wave conference where the previous Prime Minister, Helen Clark, basically poured cold water on that, and that gave a profound signal right across the science innovation sector in succeeding years for New Zealand that don't look to the previous government for a step change around that at all. And that's one of the reasons, of course, that in recent times, under the previous government, their latter period, they had that insipid growth rate. New Zealand going into recession ahead of the rest of the world. Going into the recession ahead of the rest of the world. What did the previous government actually deliver us? They delivered us a $9 billion deficit. We've had to deal with that, and we've had to build out of that. So I want to, Mr Chair, just want to cover a couple of points. First point, in the context of a significant deficit, we did increase expenditure significantly for this year and for the succeeding 3 years in this sector. In fact, actually the largest sector of new money behind education and health. So that is a significant change. It's not, however, just money. It's the major changes that have been done within the sector. Priorities, CRI reform, and I know actually the member and other colleagues sitting beside him know the importance of that, because I am certain that they are receiving information from across the CRIs of how profound that will be to their future performance. The OECD had been saying the most contestable system in the entire OECD. What did the previous government do about that? Absolutely nothing. Just shelved the report. This government actually actioned it, established a task force, and we're implementing that right now to be rolled out in the latter half of this year. And so we're in the process. And that is one of the fundamental differences. They talk, we do. Fundamental difference between the previous government and the current government. And the second issue that I want to really raise people's attention to is the merger of the ministry and the foundation. Not, dare I say it, a minor move. Two aspects to it. A much simpler system, something the sector has been absolutely crying out for and was being heard by deaf ears by the previous government. We changed that by making the changes, the second major change. The other aspect of that was changing the title, a very significant issue because it shows the change of intent. Research, science and technology shows a lack of connection between our research system and innovation and growth, whereas in contrast, science and innovation is intended to show the connections. And that is why there is specific funding in the budget, some $23 million actually, that is designed to connect directly the science and innovation system within the universities and the Crown Research Institutes with discovery and innovation. I have to say, the previous speaker must be going around with a cup half empty approach. Well, I guess, to be fair, that's a function of the opposition. That's their view of life generally. I've been there, I know that. Well, you'll be there at the same time, I might say. You'll be there at the same time. So I guess I look at these things fundamentally positively, and I have to say the sector is excited by the changes. They do see them as transformational, and they do see them as setting the conditions up for a much improved connection of the sector with business and thus economic growth. I know members of the House, across the House in fact, will be excited when they see and have seen indeed the innovations within various companies. This government is out there to make that more effective, not by a tax accountant reward system, but actually by effective programs that will make a real difference.